got quite a mixed bag of stories in the January issue of the Mover. There's one about the UK housing market, which is kind of interesting because it seems to be changing. That where people are moving away from cities, and of course the recent lockdown that we've had and having at the moment has demonstrated to people that they can work from home, and so they don't necessarily need to be quite so close to the city as they thought they were. And so they can move away and they can buy a bigger house and have a nicer lifestyle. And that seems to be borne out in some of the statistics that we're now seeing. I'm sure that's happening elsewhere in the world as well. There's a story about standards and whether you should bother having them, standards, official standards in the moving industry. It's an interview that we did with QSS. So, of course, they think that they are worth bothering with. Of course they do. That's what they do. But do read the story if you're considering getting some standards. Then it'd be worthwhile having a read of that and see whether it's appropriate for your business in particular. Then what else we got? Oh yes, we've got an interview that I did with Chris Mackley. Now, some of you will know that Chris Mackley used to work with Michael Gersten. He was there for many, many years. And the story is really about getting the right money for doing the job properly. And the moving industry has managed to talk itself down pretty badly over many, many years. And the margins that companies are able to get nowadays are maybe not as good as they once were. And Chris comes from a background where those sort of margins were attainable. And so he's looking at that whole thing and maybe has a slightly different outlook on it. So do take a look at that if you, well, I was going to say if you're interested. Of course you're interested. Why wouldn't you be? I've got 3 panel discussions from the IAM conference in there. This is the last of the IAM stories that we're going to have. The conference itself was back in October, of course. But these are 3 panel discussions that I thought you'd be interested in. There's one about managing money, managing finances, and there's one about female leadership in the industry. This industry, of course, has historically been very male dominated, much, much less so now, of course. But this particular panel was chaired by Julia O'Connor from IAM and featured Ibu Demirel, who is the FIDI president, of course, and looking at the whole industry from a female perspective. So have a look at that. And there's also one called What RMCs Want. Now, whether you love them or hate them, if you're working in the corporate market for international moving, then you will probably be dealing with relocation management companies. And it's very important that movers understand what those organisations want from the industry. There are 4 relocation management companies featured, and some quite interesting things came out of it. So do take a look at that one. I've also done an interview with Bertil Duro from Fedimac. Now, Fedimac is an organisation that has changed dramatically in recent years. And those of you who are close to it will know in what way that has changed. And I was interested to find out a bit more myself because, in truth, I didn't really know as much as I felt I should do about the organisation. I now know a lot more, and I think if you have a read of the story, you will too. Anyway, enjoy the stories and look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.